Hello everyone, I'm Zain Mohammed Abdul Haq. In the last class of biology, we were reading chapter 1. We read about Priestley's experiment, this series of experiment, which is called the Priestley's experiment. He put a mouse, a candle, and a mint plant in a bell jar. We read that he discovered oxygen in 1774, and the name oxygen was coined by Lavoisier in 1775. And now we are going to read about activity 2. Now let us read that carbon dioxide necessary for photosynthesis. We need a destarch plant with to start with. For destarching, we need to keep the plant in dark for nearly a week to remove the starch. Destarching from the leaves. Arrange the apparatus as shown in the figure. Take a wide mouth bottle, a transparent bottle. Now, as you can see in the figure, here you can see a potted plant. This is the potted plant. And take a wide mouth bottle with a split cork, meaning you will take a cork which is cut from the middle, and then you insert the leaf inside it, and you cover it so that any air doesn't enter. You cover it with either Vaseline or something, and then in the bottle you put a KOH solution. This is the KOH solution here. KOH solution, and this is the leaf going through the cork, and this is the transparent bottle. Let us see the activity. Put potassium hydroxide pellets or potassium hydroxide solution in the bottle. Potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide. Insert the splitted cork in the mouth of the bottle. Now put potassium hydroxide pellets or potassium hydroxide solution in the bottle. Potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide. Insert the splitted cork in the mouth of the bottle. Insert one of the leaves of the destarch plant through a split cork into the transparent bottle containing potassium hydroxide dioxide pellets or potassium hydroxide solution, which is KOH. This potassium hydroxide solution is KOH, which absorbs carbon dioxide from the air. Now leave the plant in sunlight. After a few hours, test this leaf and any other of this plant for starch as mentioned in activity 1. The leaf which was exposed to the atmospheric air becomes bluish black, and one of them inside the flask containing potassium hydroxide, which absorbs carbon dioxide in the bottle, remains colorless instead of blue-black, showing that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. So what happened here is that the part of leaf which was exposed to atmospheric air, which had carbon dioxide and sunlight, becomes bluish black, and the one inside the bottle containing potassium hydroxide, which absorbs carbon dioxide in the bottle, remains colorless. This proves that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. Now why it stays colorless is because it didn't get carbon dioxide. It was having light, it was getting water also. It had all the essential materials, but it didn't have carbon dioxide because the KOH was absorbing it. KOH is potassium hydroxide. It was absorbing the carbon dioxide. So when we will get questions in exam, we can write in this way. The question here is that how do you prove that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis? Or it can also give a question that list out the materials required and the procedure to be followed to prove that carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. Now you have to write an activity on this, that you will write the Moll's half-life experiment. In this, first you have to write about von Moll. He was a German botanist and he tested if that plants can confirm photosynthesis in the absence of carbon dioxide. First we will write the aim, and we will write the apparatus. In aim we have to write our aim of the experiment, that to prove that carbon dioxide necessary for the process of photosynthesis by Moll's half-life experiment. The apparatus, meaning the things we need, those are a wide mouth transparent bottle, a transparent bottle such that light goes through it, because we need sunlight for the process of photosynthesis to occur. And we need a splitted cork through which we'll put the leaf. We need potassium hydroxide solution, KOH, and potted iodine solution, so that we can test the presence of starch in the leaves. And after the aim and apparatus, you can write the procedure. The procedure for the experiment: we need to take a healthy potted plant with narrow and long leaves, and then it has to be kept in dark for nearly a week in order to make all the leaves free from starch or de-starched. On the day of the experiment, 5 to 10 ml of potassium hydroxide pellets or potassium hydroxide solution is taken in the wide mouth transparent bottle to absorb carbon dioxide. Insert the splitted cork in the mouth of the bottle. Insert one of the leaves of the starch plant through the split cork in such a way that half of the leaf is inside the bottle and the remaining half outside. The entire unit is kept in sunlight. After a few hours, 3 to 4 hours, this leaf is de-starched from the plant and taken out of the bottle for starch test. The part of the leaf outside the bottle which is exposed to atmospheric air becomes bluish black, and the part of the leaf which is inside the bottle does not turn bluish black. After the procedure, you can write the observation. The part of the leaf inside the bottle is provided with water, chlorophyll and sunlight, but not carbon dioxide, since it is absorbed by the KOH solution, so starch is not formed. And after that, you can write the result. The result is that this experiment proves that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis, and the precautions that need to be taken. The part of the leaf kept inside the bottle should not touch the KOH solution. The apparatus should be kept airtight by applying grease or Vaseline to the splitted cork so that air doesn't enter. If we get any questions like this in exams, then we have to write in the same format. First, we can write apparatus needed, then the procedure, then we can write observation, result, etc. And then, if for example, if you get the question that show an activity that shows light is necessary for photosynthesis, so we can write the hydrogen activity, which we are going to read further
the role
now.
of water. We have so far discussed the role of water and gases in the process of photosynthesis. Scientists who had been working on these lines had observed some other factors that affect the process of photosynthesis. So there are even other factors that affect the process of photosynthesis. Now let us study about them. Light. Let us study about light and photosynthesis. So we studied about air. Here we studied about air and photosynthesis. Here air and photosynthesis, and we also read about water and photosynthesis. Now let us read about light and photosynthesis. In Priestley's time, scientists didn't understand about energy. In Priestley's time, scientists didn't know about energy, but later on, much was discovered about it. If energy is released when carbon dioxide and water is formed by combining oxygen with carbon and hydrogen, then what about the reverse? So, you know that if energy is released when carbon dioxide and water is formed by combining oxygen with carbon and hydrogen, then what about the reverse? Vice versa. What about forming oxygen again and putting it back in the air. Eventually, scientists learned that the energy situation would also reverse. Oxygen formation would use up energy. That means that if plants and form oxygen, they have to get energy to make it possible. Where did the energy come from? So Dutch scientist named Jan Ingenhousz who lived from 1730 to 1799 found the answer. He studied the way in which plants formed oxygen. In 1779, he noticed that it happened only in the presence of light. In an experiment with the aquatic plant Hydrilla, he observed that in bright sunlight, small bubbles were formed around the green parts, while in dark they did not form. The reason for this was chlorophyll is a green pigment and photosynthesis occurs in chlorophyll. So it was giving out oxygen. That's why he could see small bubbles form around the green parts, while in dark they did not form because sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. He also found that the gas present in the bubbles was oxygen. It was further confirmed when man in early 20th century ingeniously detected the point of maximum rate of photosynthesis. He used a strand of algae and exposed it to different colors of light, the colors that we see in a rainbow. He then used oxygen sensitive bacteria and found out the crowd around areas illuminated with red and blue rays of light. So he came to know that light had something to do with photosynthesis. This led to more studies on effects of light in photosynthesis, the role of different colored compounds called pigments in plants, and the utilization of energy. Now let us do a lab activity. So oxygen is produced during photosynthesis in the presence of light. We have to find out about this in this lab activity. So the things we need here is a test tube, a beaker, some water in the beaker, we need a funnel, and we need a hydrilla plant. Or if not a hydrilla plant, you can even take a Elodea plant. Now arrange the apparatus as shown in the figure. Make two identical sets. Place some water plant like Eloida or hydrilla in a short stemmed funnel and keep it in a beaker containing water. So first we are taking a funnel like this. First we take a funnel and we keep it like this, and then we take a test tube and keep it like this above the funnel, and then inside the funnel we keep a hydrilla or Elodea plant. And then when photosynthesis happens, you can see small bubbles in the daylight going up. Now you should cover this test tube with your thumb like this. Cover this test tube with your thumb and remove it. Then after you do that, make it straight like this. Again, don't remove your thumb. Now take the test tube like this. Still don't remove your thumb. Your thumb is up. And then the oxygen is here. Oxygen. Then what you do, you take a glowing matchstick which was put out. Glowing matchstick, and keep it here. It is still glowing. Okay, it is still glowing. And then what you do, you move your thumb, and then the oxygen goes up and this glowing matchstick lights up. And thus we can see that this is oxygen. we confirm that this gas is oxygen. Now you can see that these bubbles are only formed during the daytime when you can see the sun. You can only see these bubbles during the daytime, and they are not produced during the night time. So it was hypothesized that photosynthesis, the process of photosynthesis, only happens during daytime and not during night time. Now, what precautions do you need while removing the test tube from the beaker? The first precaution we must take is that first we must keep our thumb so that the oxygen doesn't go out, it doesn't escape. That is the first precaution. The second precaution is that when sufficient gas is collected in the test tube, lift it from the beaker by closing its mouth with the thumb. Only when sufficient gas is there. And now the third precaution is while testing the gas with the glowing matchstick. So now let us read about activity 3. In this activity we learn that sunlight is necessary to form starch in green plants. This is called the black paper experiment, because we will use a black paper here. Now take a potted plant with destarched leaves. Remember the process of destarching mentioned in activity 1. You have to keep it in dark for about a week or 3 days. Cover one of its leaves with a black paper on which a design is cut. Fix the paper on the leaf in such a manner that light does not enter the dark part. We place this potted plant in the sunlight after destarching. After a few hours of exposure to bright sunlight, test this leaf which is covered by black paper for presence of starch. Which part of the leaf turns blue-black? What about the remaining part? The part of the leaf which could get sunlight through the cut design. Over here you see this part is exposed to sunlight and the part around it. So this part which turns blue-black is the part which is exposed to sunlight, proving that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. And this part which was covered by the black paper and couldn't get sunlight is unchanged and does not get any starch, indicating that starch is not prepared. Now observe the color of the leaves stained with iodine. Can you tell why is it stained differently? Yes, because some was under sunlight and the cut design was exposed to sunlight, and the design which was covered was not exposed to sunlight. It will be observed that only the parts of the leaf which could get light through the cut design turns blue-black, showing the presence of starch. So that's all for today. Like, subscribe and share for more videos like this. See you in the next video.